Hi everybody, Richard here, back with another, I don't know what this is, episode 5, maybe? I think episode 5 of my development of my prototype game, Only for Survive. As always, I'll do my little statement. Sorry for the people who are watching this and they have to hear this statement every time, but obviously I don't know which video people might jump into. This is a personal fan-made project called Only for Survive. It is inspired by Left 4 Dead, but not affiliated with or endorsed by Valve. I'm developing it purely as a design experiment and hope one day to explore an official license. If I can make something good. So, this is exciting. This is version 1.3. This is only, there can you see that, Only for Survive Core Rules 1.3. And now I am play testing this next iteration of the game. I've set everything up to try and speed it up a bit. So I've got the map set up. I won't go over everything that I've changed in the game because obviously I've been talking about that in other videos. I've built the bag already, which has got loads of tokens in it already. That you have basic tokens that start in the bag at the start of the game. I've randomly picked 4 of the starting weapons, which I'm going to assign to the characters. Originally, I was just going to have the characters all start with a pistol, but obviously, in the computer game, you usually get given, a selection of the starting kind of lower ranked weapons first. So, as always with this game, which I'll just touch on briefly now, is that I'm trying to design something within the constraints of the game to replicate the game. There's loads of other things I could have added to the game. For example, there's no melee weapons in the game because there isn't any in the computer game. So I could create skills for all the character and have progression and all this. I'm not creating that. I'm trying to create a faithful as possible in a board game version of the computer game. So I'm kind of using those constraints as a design, as I say in my opening statement, as a design experiment. So let's see if we can make a version of the computer game and replicate what we enjoy about the game in a board game. So I'm going to assign these weapons that I've randomly picked, the kind of lower ranked weapons. So I've got a dual pistol, 2 SMGs and a pump shotgun. So let's give the dual pistols to Joe because it seems appropriate and cool that the young girl character would have 2 pistols. We'll give the pump shotgun to Brick because it sounds like something you would pick up, and the SMG to Isaac and the other SMG to Rook. So because I've given them those weapons, they need ammo each. So the SMGs have 8 ammo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. 8 ammo. I've intentionally on the pistol card, I've intentionally left a space so you can effectively put the ammo there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, I haven't got any of this ready. I should have done this already as well. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no, sorry. He's got the shotgun, so he's only got 6 ammo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the pistol's got 6 ammo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So that's a little change from the first game. The dual pistols had infinite ammo before, but now it doesn't because you can spend ammo to fire again an extra action. And as I say, I've set up the map tiles. What you do in the game is you pick a mission. So this one here is called No Departure. No one's getting out alive. And then you'd flip it over and you'd have 2 cards. The first card effectively tells you about the mission and how to set up the map, and the second card tells you what happens when you get to the first, when you get to kind of the end tile to do the mission. So it's kind of like a bit of a surprise. So really you just read the A card, and the A card, it will tell you which additional specials to add to the bag, to kind of add some kind of theme to this level. So in this mission I'm adding an extra blister to the bag, an extra liquor to the bag, and an extra tank, which sounds horrendous, and an extra tank to the bag. So while the characters are out searching in the game to get extra ammunition or weapons or items and things like that, those potentially are going to come up. There is already one of each special in the bag, apart from the witch. The witch is only appears by the AI cards, or some of the missions specifically have the witch as something that appears. So put those in the bag, give them a good shake. So there's 3 extra enemies in the bag. And then it says mid-mission rules, when a survivor reaches tile 5, place 1 generator token on the special node. And then there's some trigger effects. And then when you got to that tile 5, you'd then read the next card and it'll tell you how to resolve the mission. It also on the bottom of the card tells you the map tile configuration. So here it says you start with map tile 2B, then it goes 4B, 3A, 1A, 6B, 8B. That would be how you'd build the map. I've put the first tile 2B, and then the other 2 are just some other random tiles because we probably won't even get to them. But that's how you would set up the mission. You'd set those 6 tiles up, and then you would, on tile 5, you would be ready to do that, read that bit, part of the mission, and read the next card. So that's that mission setup. I have also picked a director card. So the director cards are a bunch of cards, got this little symbol on the back, that basically change the starting conditions of each mission. These have been updated as well, slightly. Now they've been given a little symbol in this top corner which shows you how many AI cards. So these are the director AI cards. So we've got the director cards which kind of set the overall start of the mission and the threat level of the mission and the starting conditions, and then you've got the AI director cards which spawn things to the board as you play. So in combination with these, because there's this many different director cards, it means you get different setups and lots of different variations within the mission, because then each mission, even though there's only 5 missions, they've got 9 different starting conditions. So I've just picked one at random. I'm playing the green ones, which are the easy ones for this playtest. So I start on threat 1. It shows me I start on threat 1, and it tells me to set the threat parameters, which are basically when a horde rush is going to happen, at 14 and 19. So I've set that 14 and 19 and 30 and 36. So when the threat tracker reaches these within these values, I have to draw 2 AI cards every round. And it tells me for my setup I need to spawn 2 AI cards, and that'll be the starting setup for the game. So I've already set up this first map tile with its tokens. So I spawn 1 search token for each character playing in the game, which is 4. So I spawn 4 and I distribute them equally among the search spots. I've spawned on this tile it tells me that I spawn a, what's it called? A propane can. And when it tells you spawn a propane can, you can spawn it anywhere you like. So I'm going to spawn it there. And there's 1 barricade which blocks a location. There's also here an elevated section, so if we're standing there, we gain an extra dice in attack. Okay, all the players are set up. They've got their quotes, they've got a med kit, they've got their ammo. Interestingly, I had this system before in the game where this little marker down here, you'd move it across when they'd used a quote. Now the quote system has changed. I haven't updated it on the cards yet because it's not really necessary for me to add a little star to this card. That's what I'm going to do. Is that players can use 1 quote a turn, but they before it was that when you used a quote, you'd move this little marker across to show that you'd used the quote, and then you wouldn't get it back till you rolled a star on the dice, and then you'd reset it. But now the player can use the quote, well, one quote a turn, and then they get them back when they roll a star, then they get a quote back. Interestingly, this marker now is used, and I can keep the symbolism the same, which is good. For when you've used your quote on your turn, you just move the marker across, which shows that you've used the quote, and then at the start of your turn you just reset it. Now why you'd want to track that is because now players can use quotes in response to enduring the enemy phase. So a character might use their quote, but only if they haven't been yet. So let's say it's Brick's go, he's already done his go, some zombies are about to attack him. Rook could use a quote which moves him, but Rook hasn't taken his turn yet. And what he could do is, and then so if he used a quote on another player, he could then move that marker across to show that he's used his quote for that turn, and then he can still take his turn, but you know that he's already used his quote. So actually, it's great. I get to not change the iconography on it, and it still works. So I'm just a bit worried about the camera seems to have moved ever so slightly there. I'm going to try and just tweak it a tiny bit. There you go, it looks a tiny bit better. Just make sure you can see all the characters. Okay, great. I've already set up the AI decks. These decks we'll draw from each round. I've got my zombies set up. There's a jump pistol, I can go back there. What else do we need to do? Nothing. I think we can start. 12 minutes in and I'm ready to start. Okay. I've got the summary there. Got a turn summary there, that's all the same. Okay. So obviously all the dice and everything, we've got new dice, they've all got new upgraded symbols on them, so they're much stronger now. This version obviously is the first time I've ever going to be playing it. It's not like I've played it and then I'm going to show you it. So I don't know, it totally might not work, or it might work much better, or there could be loads of issues, who knows. I already know that I've adjusted the values on all the AI cards, so the threat tracker always moves before it could go backwards, and that caused some problems. So now the threat tracker, I think, is going to move too quickly. So I already know that there's probably something wrong with the game, because before, really powerful cards in the AI deck would move the tracker back or not at all, but now it only moves it forward because, as I say, it caused problems. So anyway, let me just shut up and just just start playing. Okay, so we're gonna do the setup. So I needed to draw 2 AI cards, so I'm going to draw from this deck, and we've got Overpass Creek, 3 zombies at C and D. Let's see. Oh, 3 at C and D. That's fun. So we've got 3 zombies here. Whoa, and here, right next to us. That's fun for a player. Yep, you can see that. Yeah, there we go. 3 at C and D. And we increase the threat tracker by 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's 1 card, and it says on the card, metal groans above, the dead are crossing. And there's a little bit of flavour, and we'll draw 1 from this deck. With the AI deck, you can't keep drawing from the same deck. If you've drawn from that deck, you then have to draw from another deck. We've got Rail Yard Charge. The little icon on there shows that I draw from the bag and spawn it on the node that we're on. This could be really bad. And I'm going to spawn 5. I'm going to get +1 threat. And I'm going to spawn 5 at A and C. This is interesting. 5 at A. 5 Jesus. 5 at A and C. Now, this is something that I still haven't locked in or anything yet, is I think that there's going to be a limit on how many you can spawn at each, well, there is a limit at the moment on how many you can spawn on each node, which is 6. So it's telling me to spawn 5 at C. Well, there's already 3 there, so only 3 more can join, because there's a limit of 6. I feel like the limit is good because I can't just have, if you start having rules of, if you can't spawn them into an adjacent one, then where you're going to spawn them, and it's probably a good kind of limiting factor to how many can actually be on the board at any one time. So it's probably a good thing. So we're not going to spawn all the 5, and then we're going to draw from the bag. Now this could be horrendous and might not work for the starting card. It might be that you don't apply starting card drops. But I'll do it anyway because it's fun. There we go, some pills. So that was a simple one, but I could draw a tank. So it would be weird at the start of the level if a tank appeared. So I think probably, I'm going to be making notes because this is a playtest. This isn't really a demonstration of me necessarily playing the game. This is, again, it's always just, I'm playtesting everything. Let's write my notes on, if I can get a paper. I've got so many notes already. Okay, we can do some notes here. This is version 1.3 notes. Starting AI draw. Ignore bag. Pulls. Okay. Obviously, when I'm doing notes, I always just do shorthand for me. So I'll know what that means easily. I'll easily know what that means. Okay, so I'm going to ignore that bag pull and say that's how I would probably do it. All you do, actually, yeah, that makes sense too. You don't increase the threat tracker. When you do the setup, all you do is spawn zombies from the cards. Because otherwise you could start with a threat and have a rush straight away, which doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to put ignore all on AI setup, just spawn Z's. There we go. So we've just figured out something new. It doesn't take long. You can see how much, when you're designing something, how many things you have to consider, because I didn't think about that before. There's so many things crop up. But as I say, it's always best to just create something that you can get to the table as quick as possible, because then you figure these things out and you never know how that might affect something else in the game's development. Okay, right, I am actually ready to start, like 20 minutes in. Okay, here we go. Now we've got all this stuff to deal with, which makes it a bit more interesting. So I'm going to do Brick, because he's here. He is going to move. Do I search for it? No, I'm going to shoot first. Brick is going to fire the pump shotgun, which rolls 1 red and 1 black. At range 0, he'd get +1 weak dice. And his benefits for having a pump shotgun are all at range 0. So he is going to move into that zone, which seems psychotic, I know, but he gains an extra white dice for that. So let's see how the new dice have improved. Yay! Oh, nice. So we have got, that's interesting. That's something I didn't think about. So all the weapons now, I'll just go over that quickly so you can see, have been given new specials. So they're set up differently as well. So the pump shotgun now has got a range, how much ammunition it holds, the dice it rolls when it attacks, and now what's different about it is it's got a special, the little cog there, it's just like its standard ability. At range 0, so if you're on the same node, you gain +1 weak die to your attack. if I roll a star at range 0 to 1, I can knock back all the infected on that node, so I can push them back, or I can roll an extra heavy dice. So obviously in this situation, I've rolled the heavy dice and rolled a star, which means that I can just roll it again effectively. So is that a good effect or not? I guess it's quite good because it means that you're just getting a re-roll on a black dice. But as I say, these are, when I'm creating all these things, I kind of think of something that sounds okay, but let's just do it. Okay, it was a double hit. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. Boom. 5 zombies down. Nice. And that was his first attack. Now I can remember, because I forgot in the first playthroughs, that he could spend an ammunition, if he wanted to make another attack, and that doesn't account for the 2 attacks he gets already. So all the players get to move up to 2 zones. Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that. So they get a move action, which is they can move 1 or 2 zones for that 1 action cost, and then they get 2 other actions. Now the 2 other actions can be a fire, can both be used to shoot, or they can use the action for an extra node of movement. So because I've already moved him 1, I've kind of wasted his move, because I should have moved 2, but I wanted to get the extra dice. So now I could spend his other action to move because I was going to search, but I think I'll it's either, so I could have used his first action, one of his actions, to just move 1. Then I could have fired, and then so I could say that he's got his move 2 left still, but that doesn't really help a fat lot. The shotguns have got a range of 2, 1, 2, so I could shoot over there. Okay, he's going to shoot over to that node, clear the way, allow them to move. So now he's only rolling the red and the black dice, and he gets another star, which means that I can roll a black dice or knock them back. I'll roll this black dice. Oh yeah, so we've got 5 hits, they're dead. Now obviously I can't spread the hits around to anybody I want because I'm shooting in that direction. It's kind of like each node is like an area, of the map. There we go. Nice. So we can see the new weapons are much stronger. I didn't have to spend any ammo, and I got loads more hits and wiped out loads more zombies, but that's a good thing. Now it's so now I've got this little tracker on each of the characters, and I've got a little mini version of the character. I don't even know what the game these are from. I can't remember, but it's quite cute. And I move him down to now it's the zombie phase. I've got a little tracker on each of the characters because when you're playing it single-handedly, it's good to be able to look quickly and see which characters you've done. I haven't even looked at his quotes. There's something that will probably get... I know that they work, and I know how they work, so I'm not bothered about the effects necessarily just yet. I need to make sure the core game actually works before I start thinking, right, are these too overpowered, or how these skills work? I know that the skills work because they're very simple, but... So that was his go. Now it's the zombie phase, so all the zombies are going to move that are on the board. They're going to move 1 node towards the players. They have got a turn order, which is not on the cards because I haven't actually updated the enemy cards yet. But they basically move towards the nearest survivor, and then it says here lowest hit points. I'm not too sure if that's correct in my newer version, but there's going to be some rhyme or reason for why they're moving in certain directions. So they're going to move towards the nearest survivors. I think it's nearest survivor, nearest group of survivor. If it's tied, the nearest group of survivors, so the most survivors on a node. But it's always towards a survivor that they can damage. So if there's 2 survivors here and here, they're going to move towards... They're only ever going to move 1, so it doesn't matter for that. But For some of the enemies that have more move, suddenly where their targeting priority lies is more important. When you're just moving one, it's always pretty obvious where they're going to move. Right, so the zombies have moved. This zombie's on my tile, so he's going to hit Brick for one damage. Then Brick, then I'll move his little tracker down again. Now I have to draw an AI card for him. So now I'll draw an AI card. I'm going to draw from here. Distant Siren. A single honk becomes a blaring beacon of death. bit over the top. So now it's telling me that I have to add the card. I'll show you. It's telling me that I've got to add a noise token to the special spawn, which is there, which is a bit of a pain in the butt. So the alarm, if I trigger that alarm, I have to draw 2 AI cards immediately, which is something that's changed from previous versions. How the alarm works is that if you fire onto that node, you set the alarm off. If you fire onto an adjacent node and miss, as in roll a re-roll on the dice, you set off the alarm. So really, firing into any of these zones now risks spawning loads more zombies, which is cool. I think it's a nice, simple way to do it. And I've got spawned 3 zombies at B. 3 zombies at B, and I increase the threat by 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. That was Brick's turn. Now it's let's do Joe, because I don't think she's going to do a fat lot. Joe is going to go. Well, she could move over there, but then she's going to get swamped by them. I don't really want to fire into there. Okay, Joe's going to move 2 to here. She's not going to search yet. Searching is a free action. It's tricky with searching to know whether you want to do it at the start of your turn or at the end, because sometimes if you pick an ammunition out, it replenishes your ammo, or you can just leave it on the floor and then you can shoot loads and then use the ammo pick up anyway. So she's going to move 2, and then she's going to fire her pistol, her dual pistol, which has got no benefits. So I'm going to, roundabout. If she searches now, she could draw an enemy, but then at least she could fire upon it, potentially, depending on what it is. I'm going to let her shoot. So it's got a range of 3, so 1, 2. She's easily in range. We'll see how decent the pistols are now. So she got a reload, so she must spend an ammunition, but she got 2 hits. Boom. And then she's going to fire again. And she got, she rolled a hit and 2 reloads. But no matter how many reloads you roll in a single attack, you just spend 1 ammunition. So she spends an ammunition, then she gets 1 hit. So I could spend an ammunition to fire again, but there's a good chance you'll lose another ammunition. So that's why it kind of holds you back from just keep spending your ammo to fire again, because every time you fire again, you might lose even more ammo. So that's kind of the balance. Okay, so that was her go. She is going to search. She's going to take that search token. We're going to go in the bag and see what we get. Maybe she'll get something good. So in the bag at the moment, there's a picked number, certain set of tokens in this bag that's set at the start of the game for every game. And then, as I say, as we said at the start, the scenario card dictates which extra tokens get added to the bag, and the AI director cards add extra tokens to the bag, which I haven't actually done. I forgot. So these cards. So there's 2 different cards which adjust what's in the bag at the start of the game, and then and so. In the bag, what am I getting at here? I lost my train of thought now. So when she draws from the bag, she's going to... in this bag, there could potentially be ammunition, bunch of zombies, weapons. That's what I was getting at, the weapons. So there's one of each, there's two of each lower ranked weapon in the bag at the start of the game. So effectively, so there's 2 dual pistols, 2 pump shotguns, 2 Uzis that can be found. And then there is obviously in the game the advanced weapons, which are the sniper rifle, the M16 and the auto shotgun. But when you're playing the game, they won't be added to the bag until later on in the scenario to kind of replicate. In my head, it was you'd do the first 2 tiles, and then on tile 3 you'd add in the extra weapons, the more improved weapons. But today, just because I didn't want to add all of the best weapons into it, but I've added 1 M16, I think, into the bag. So if it comes up, we'll play test it. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. Just so you know what's in the bag. So there's good and bad things in here. There's far more good things in here than there is bad things. As things get taken out of the bag, they stay out of the bag unless AI cards tell us to put them back in the bag. That's how that works. Okay, so she's going to draw. Joe's going to draw from the bag, and she draws a blister. The big fat guy that's going to blow up. So she draws the blister. So let's find the blister card. The blister. So that's the worst thing I could possibly have drawn. But it's good that he's not in the bag anymore. So draw the blister. I think I was using this model as a blister. Obviously I don't have any of the models. Have any official models for this game. So the blister appears. And he's going to vomit on me. Great. So the blister comes out of the bag. So I'll just put the tokens that I've drawn out of the bag over here. So the blister's drawn out. I'll put the blister on the node. He basically will, when he's on the board, he'll move 1 towards the nearest survivor, the nearest group, and then the nearest survivor. He does 2 damage. He explodes on contact, covering the person, the character, in vomit. I could have had him moving around, vomiting on people, but it just is much simpler for him to just do his thing, and then that's the action done, rather than having to track his movement and then health and this kind of stuff. So the blister appears, then that's the end of her turn because she's moved, done her 2 actions. This is where you could be like, let's do a card. So she has got a card here, for example, one of her quotes is fall back, move yourself 2 nodes out of danger. And he only moves 1 node. So let's do that. So she goes, I'm going to play fall back. I'll just put it underneath there and I'll move her thing across to say she played a quote. And I don't really want to go backwards. I kind of want to move. She's going to move to there, but that means she's going to get hit twice, but I want to go that way. I could move there. They can't get me, but they can. Yeah, I'd rather take the damage. So she moves 2 away from him with her quote skill. Nice. Then it's the zombie phase. So we've got a zombie enemy activation order. So it would go Stalker, Hag, Licker, Dozer, Infected, then the Blister. So the Infected will move first. So the Infected move in. They'll move in and hit her for 2. 1, 2. These guys will move to the closest enemy. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So they're going to move to there. This guy is going to hit Brick again because he's on his location. And then the Boomer will move, and it's going to move 1 towards... Ooh, it's going to move 1 towards the nearest group or survivor. So she's 2 away, they're 2 away. So he's going to move that way. Nice. Now he only moves 1. I think maybe because I've changed the player's movement in this game, because it used to just be one node and then you could move up to 3 nodes by spending your other actions. That still could come back into effect because now I've increased the potency of the weapons. Maybe they should be moving less, or maybe they should be moving more. Who knows? We'll just play it and see what seems like the best thing to do. So the zombies have all moved. Then it's the AI director card. So she's going to draw. I'm just going to draw from one of each. It is Hunter Stalk. Hunter Stalk, which she gains 3 ammunition. She finds 3 ammunition. Nice. 1, 2. She can only gain 2 because she's got the dual pistol, so she can only carry a maximum of 6. Then it says spawn a hunter. Wow, so spawn a hunter. So a hunter's there. So the model I'm using, spawn a hunter, sorry. I have, what's mine called? The Stalker. Spawn the Stalker, and the Stalker model I'm using for this game is this little dog, because it pounces, so that kind of made sense to me. It's like a little zombie dog. So the Stalker appears on the special spawn node, so he's going to appear here. This is why often these cards all work in combination with each other, because I've got an alarm node spawn on the special spawn, and now the hunter's spawned there. So the hunter's spawned somewhere where I don't want to fire. So it's made it trickier. So, and then it says spawn him at this location, and then it says add him to the bag. It says add him to the bag. So it says spawn him at the special location and add him to the bag. Now, you only add him to the bag if he's been removed already. So we know we've only spawned a blister to the board, so we haven't taken him out of the bag already. So one of them just spawns, and it says increase the threat by 1, and the little quote at the bottom is the scrape of claws on tin. Okay, awesome. So that was Jo's go complete. She's done her actions, moved the zombies, done the zombies turn, and then done the AI deck. Now so we've got Rook and Isaac to go. Brick's here annoyingly just getting hit continuously by this guy. I think we're going to go with Rook. Rook is going to... We've got to deal with this because Jo is going to take 2 damage and then take another 3 damage on top of that. And, well, she's going to get pounced on, because the hunter is just going to go and pounce on her. The stalker, sorry. The stalker has got 2 movement and will attack the most isolated survivor. So she's the furthest away from everybody. So, and then when you get jumped on by the stalker, you get pinned. Any zombies that move onto your location can still damage you, but they won't purposely target you. So if they just happen to be moving through the location you're on, you'll take damage on their way to attack somebody else, to target somebody else. So you still can take damage. You could still die while you are down, if that makes sense. So I really need to deal with both of these specials. So Rook is going to move 2 to here, to this search location. Then he's going to fire on the boomer, because I don't want to get vomited on, and limit my movement to 1. So the SMG rolls 2 red and 1 white. It gets +1 damage if it's at range 1. So I get +1 damage on the stalker, but not on the boomer. But I only need 1 hit on the boomer, so I'm going to fire. So I got 2 hits in a reload, so I have to spend an ammunition. But I kill the boomer. Boom. He's gone. Nice. And we know that the boomer's also out of the bag now, so that's useful too. So we know that the bag's safer. Then he's going to fire again onto the stalker's node. Oh shit, I just realised. The stalker is on the alarm node. So I'm going to set the alarm off and have to draw 2 cards straight away, which could just spawn multiple monsters. But I said it now. I got 3 hits, and the Stalker has got a health of 3, so that was very lucky. Oh, and because I'm using the SMG, its standard is I get +1 hit if I'm at range 0 to 1. So we kill the Stalker, awesome. But I've just fired into this alarm zone. So I remove the alarm and I have to spawn 2 AI cards straight away. So double windows, spawn 2 at B, C and D. God, at B, C, oh no, C and D. 2 at B, C and D. Increase the threat by 2, 1, 2. And it says they pour through every opening. Then I have to spawn another one. Loading bay breakout. Oh God, this is bad. Spawn an alarm signal there. Then 4. I shouldn't have fired into there, that's so bad. It's good to see the ramifications of your creation. 4 at B. It's good fun, B. So that's maxed out. And D. And it really represents what happens if in the game you fire at an alarmed car and you set the alarm off. Tons of zombies just pile in. So that's cool, I like it. And D. Sorry, that was D. And that's B. That's D. And 4 there. Okay. Increase the threat by none. It says forklifts topple and the siren blares. Okay, so I've got these little trackers here because I drew from those 2 decks, so I can't draw from those 2 decks. So just if you're catching this video and you haven't watched any of the other ones, the AI deck, you think I'm just drawing random cards. Why is there 4 piles? Why is there not just 1 pile of cards? The players each get 10 cards at the moment. Each get 10 cards drawn randomly from the 80 cards in the A. There's 80 AI different AI cards, all different. Draw 10 each, and they get to set the AI deck however they want. So I really like this. I think it's like a really cool thing about the game is that the players build each of their AI decks. So if you can remember all 10 cards, then you put your cards down. Then you could know. You could be like, well, the next card is going to be this. So draw that from that deck. But inevitably, you can never remember. I'm just playing it random at the moment. I'm not going to build each 10 decks specifically, but you could at the start of the game go, I'm going to put all the hard cards at the back and all the easy cards on the top. So it's going to be easy, hard. You wouldn't necessarily want to do that because of the threat tracker, and then obviously as the game went on, if all the hard cards were on the bottom, you're just going to get absolutely swamped if you all draw really hard cards at the same time. Anyway. So that was Joe's go. This is Rook's go. He moved to there. He set the alarm off, but he killed the hunter. Good. But that caused the alarm to go off, and that caused another alarm to appear in that node. So I don't really want to fire in any of these nodes adjacent to it. And there's tons of zombies to deal with. So he did fire twice then, didn't he? Now I've got to move all the zombies that are now on the board. So here, Brick takes 3 damage, 1, 2, 3. I could be negating a lot of this damage with their special cards. I do realise that. But I don't want to be sitting here for ages looking through all their cards thinking about what would be the best thing now. I'm just trying to quickly, not really quick, just play through and just see if these actions are actually working. Okay, so Brick takes 3 damage. All these guys here are going to move to the nearest player. Boom. So Isaac is going to take 6 damage. Let's quickly see if he's got something that I can do. Yeah, okay, we'll just do this. Oh no, that's another player. Okay, yeah, none of his doing anything. Whoa, I lost one. Those zombies moved there, doing him 6 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Obviously this health tracker would be much nicer. I could just knock it at the moment, but it's fine. It's just playtest. Those guys are going to do her 2 damage, 1, 2. Then these guys are going to move in and do her 3 damage, 1, 2, 3. Then these guys are going to move, it's either 1, 2, they can't move onto that zone because it's blocked. They can move onto this zone, 1, 2, or 1, 2. When it comes to, so they're going to move to the, I'm going to play it by what I've got on their card at the moment, even though I know these are going to change. So at the moment it says they move to the nearest survivor or the lowest hit points. So I'm just going to go with that at the moment, because maybe it works, maybe that is a better way to do it. I think it was nearest survivor, and then I had the highest hit points, and then the biggest group, or something like that. But anyway, we'll play it as I've written on these cards. So Rook has got the most hit points, and Joe's got the least, so it's going to move towards Joe. So it's going to move 1, that it could move there or there. When moving, it's the same distance. So in this example, I'm going to move them. Oh, do I want to move them there? Yeah, I'm going to move them there, because I feel like that does me a bit of a favour. Okay. And remember, only 6 zombies can be on a node at once. So if the zombies need to move, they're just not going to unless there's another target they can move towards. That's another thing I need to figure out, another rule I need to figure out. So that was Joe's go. So we've still got Isaac to go. Oh no, wait a minute. This was Rook's go. That was the zombies moving. Now Rook has got to draw an AI card. Another red. So the red ones are the spawn the most zombies and generally have all the worst things happen. Airport concourse. Gates number 13 boards eternally. Gate number 13 boards eternally. So I add a token from the bag to his node. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. Before I drew the zombies, I was on a search node, so I would have searched with him. So I'm just going to do that now. Oh, could be interesting. That is I have to remember. I can't remember what everything's called. An oxygen tank. So he drew an oxygen tank token. Well, that appears on his node. So I'll remove this search token, put it there. The oxygen tank appears on his node. He can just pick it up and throw it, because it's a free action. At the moment, it's just a free action. He could carry it in his hands, which there's a little hand slot for them to carry stuff, but obviously while he's carrying it, he can't shoot. So I'm just going to leave it on the node at the moment. No, I could just launch it onto another node. I can throw it up to 2 nodes. That's written on the card for the item. So I've got all items on cards, so you don't need all these cards, but the cards just have the rules for all the items on it, so the characters don't carry those. They're just like reference cards effectively, but I think it's a nice way to do it, to kind of have a reference card like that. So we could throw it 2 nodes. So I am gonna throw it 2 nodes. I'm gonna throw it, because I'm fed up with spawns, I'm gonna throw it there to that node. Because then if I know a bunch of zombies spawn there, we can just shoot it and just blow up the whole node. Then it would have been me spawning this, which is draw a token from the bag and add it to the node. Guess what I drew? Spawn zombie. This is a good. I haven't figured out. I don't know what this does yet. I was like, it just spawns a singular common infected. The picture shows 3, which makes me think maybe when you draw that, excuse me, you should spawn 3. But I'm just going to say you spawn 1 for now. So it's just like a surprise, like surprise, zombies there. So I'm just going to spawn 1 zombie on his node. Again, the tokens being removed means that the negative tokens mean that the bag is getting safer. Then I've got spawned 6 zombies. Oh my god. At B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 zombies at B and 6 zombies at D. I've nearly used all the zombies in the game. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 zombies at D. Look at the board. Right, okay. But I don't increase the threat tracker, so that's one benefit. I think I drew from that deck. So that goes on there. Those two guys can come off there, blocking those decks. Okay, that was Rook's go. Right, so now we've got Isaac is the last person to go. Isaac needs to do some serious damage. Oh my god. Move on node, heals himself. Okay, I feel like I need to use these quotes. I was like, I won't use the quotes, I'll just play the game because I'm swamped, absolutely swamped. Obviously, if the players were building these, constructing these AI decks, you could build it in that you knew that you were going to have at least a half decent start and not actually be absolutely swamped like this. Because you could easily remember, right, or the first 2 cards, I'll put easy ones on so we have a nice start. Not horrendous cards, so that would be quite easy to set up. So I'm going to use this action, which gives another player an extra action. So I'm going to give Rook an extra action, and Brick. Rook. I just need 1 hit, so I'd rather roll 3 dice to get 1 hit. Yeah. So I'll give Rook an extra action, and he's going to fire into this zone, shooting the canister. Boom, he gets 1 hit. They're all dead. Nice. Yeah. And the canister's removed. Was that a good thing to do? Yes. Okay, so the canister is out of the bag. As I said, there is AI directed cards that add the tokens back in, but I'm just going to put a note about that. AI cards add back in items. I'm just going to put a question mark on that because I just need to make sure that the AI directed deck does still add back in the items. I can't remember if it does now. But it might be a case of that when items are used, they get added back in. But I don't want to create too many different rules. You kind of want the same rules for each thing. Right, so that was Isaac's. He spent a quote to do that. I'll move that quote to there to show that he spent that quote. Then he is going to fire in his zone. He's got the SMG. He gets +1 hit because of his node. So he rolls 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. That's 5 zombies down. Nice. Oh God, I need to save her over there. She's just going to take so much damage. I'm going to move 1. I can move 1, 2 to there, and then that's 2. I think I'm just going to have to start pummeling some ammo. Yeah. I've got to do spending some ammo. Okay, he moves into this zone. Moves 2. When you leave a zone with zombies, you take the number of zombies halved, rounded down in damage. So when I leave a zone with 1 zombie, 1 halved, rounded down is none. If there was 2 zombies, I'd take 1 damage. So leaving a zone with 1 zombie is fine. That kind of makes sense to me. Oh, each round, I forgot, each player gets 1 shove action. So I could shove this zombie, that makes perfect sense. I'll shove this zombie, 1 node. Then I'm going to move to there, just so the zombie doesn't move onto this node and put more damage on Brick. It's just going to move to me, which I've got more health than Brick. Oh, I haven't actually. Anyway, so he's going to move to there. It's a good point actually, because you could shoving zombies onto nodes means that if 6 zombies spawned on that node and there was already a zombie there, then less zombies will appear on that node. So actually shoving zombies back onto nodes is a good tactic. And that's something there that I haven't thought about, is that the shotgun's knockback effect. I knew it would be useful, but I'm not exactly sure why. But now that is a good reason why the shotgun knockback is good. Because if the players were here, for example, and there was a spawning node, you could push all the zombies back to the spawning node, and then when they spawned one, they wouldn't spawn. Nice. So this is why playtesting is so good. You discover things you didn't know you'd put in the game. Okay, so Isaac shoved, moved to here. You've still got one firing action left. I'm going to fire into this zone. If this alarm is killing me. If I can't fire into this zone with the alarm, because I could draw two. I'm going to have to draw another 2 AI cards. This is so bad. Because it's any of the locations, if I roll a miss, but I can't let. I've used my special action. It's good. It's interesting. It's interesting that it's so hard to do it. I can't disable the alarm. All you can do is set the alarm off. I mean, it could be that the alarm card is too hard, drawing 2 AI cards. Maybe it should just be 1. I'll put a note of that. Alarm. Maybe 1 AI card draw. Okay, we're going to risk it. He's going to fire into this zone. I can't have Joe just getting pummeled for loads of damage. So he's going to roll 3 dice. I just don't want to roll a miss. Yes! No miss! Okay. So the SMG special is, if I rolled a star, I could ignore a re-roll, a spend ammunition roll. So that's good, because it means I wouldn't set the alarm off. Or I can move an extra node. So at 0 to 1, so unfortunately I just get 2 hits. But my special is that I can move a node. I mean, I might as well just move onto the alarm node. Oh no, because I'm not. I'm going to move 1 node. Oh yes! I'm going to move 1 node, pick up the propane canister. I can throw it 2 nodes. I'm going to throw it to this node, which is not in the alarm zone, and then I'm going to shoot it. And then I have to spend an ammunition to fire again with the Uzi. And I get, I get 2, 3, 4 hits, but I'm shooting the gas canister, which kills all of those zombies. Yes. Now we're kicking butt. Right. Do I spend an extra ammo to fire again, but I risk setting the alarm off? Do I risk it? I think you gotta risk it. Okay, he spends an extra ammo, and he's gonna make another attack into this zone. Yes! Ooh, I've got 2 specials. So I feel like the SMG at the moment, its special is ignore a rolled damage, a rolled reroll, ignore a spend ammunition result, and then move 1 node. So I could move 2 nodes, but I feel like the SMG should, maybe one of the star actions should be like maybe more damaging. Oh wait a minute! He's firing into that zone. So I've already got it's already got +1 hit. So I do 2 hits, and I've got 2 stars, which means I'm forgetting. I can spend the star to get my shout back. So he gets his shout back. He's just used. Nice. Perfect. And then I use the other star to move an extra zone. He's going to move into the zone, onto the node with Joe. So that's actually cool. He's going to spend another ammo. And he's going to fire into this. Oh, he can't fire into that zone. Because you can't shoot through a barricaded zone. Right. He's not going to spend that amount. Okay, nice. Productive turn there from Isaac. And then it would be zombies move. So we take 1 damage here. So I'm going to take 1 damage on Isaac. These zombies are going to move towards this up here. Rook takes 1 damage. Brick takes 3 damage. Oh, sorry, that's not Brick. Brick's here. 1, 2, 3 damage. And this zombie is going to move 1 location there. Lowest, nearest. So when I say nearest, I also am thinking of having a rule that when it says move to the nearest the closest survivor or the nearest survivor, obviously these 2 survivors are equally a distance apart. They're 2 nodes away, but this node is physically closer. So I think it will be distance and also physical distance on the map, effectively. So this character, Brick, is actually physically closer than this one, even though they're the same node distance. So this zombie is just going to move 1 node to there. So all the zombies have moved and done their damage. Then it's now draw an AI card. So let's draw from this deck. And we've got Bus Depot Crowd. The queue's still here and hungry. We add a search token. Nice. So we add a search token to a location. So both these locations have already got a search token on, and you add a search. When you're adding a search token back into the game, you add it evenly as possible to the map. So at the moment, both these locations have got 1 on, so I can add it to either of those 2 search zones. So I'll add it to there. Then I've got to spawn 5. That's a lot. 5 at C. Oh my god. Oh, that's good. C. 1, 2, 3. So we can only spawn 3. And 5 at D. 2, 3, 4, 5 at D. Then add 1 to the threat. There we go. Where was that from? There. Add that to there. Okay. Then all the characters are reset for the next round. So I'm going to, now I'm already an hour in, I'm going to play another round now and see how quickly I can do it without me waffling on too much. But inevitably I will. Okay, let's go with Joe. This is crippling me, this alarm. This alarm is so bad. I just need to get to the next tile. Let's get to the next tile. Come on. So if I want to go to the next tile, I just need to move from this node that's adjacent to the node with the fog token on. And so to enter this tile, I have to go from that node to that node. I can't go from there to there or anything like that. But as soon as I've activated that node, then I can move from any node straight across. That's how I've got it working at the moment. This is killing it. I can move it. So this barricade here, for an action, it costs an action though. I can move it to another node. I can't block a node with a spawn on it, but I could move it to any other node. I can't move it to the special node either. Basically, you can just move it to like empty nodes with no special ability. But that is going to cost an action. Ooh. Joe's going to shoot. She's going to shoot. She's got bloody pistols. It's so rubbish. She's going to move to here and search. Because I'm fed up with having no decent gun. And maybe she'll get a gun. Maybe I'll just get lucky and draw a gun. Gasoline. Okay, I drew a gasoline can. That gets dropped on the location. She could throw it to there and set that location on fire. Let's do it. She throws the can to this location. She's going to shoot it. So she's got 3 dice. She gets 3 hits. She sets this off. Boom, boom, boom. Those guys die. And then this location is on fire now. And I have a little fire token with a 2 on it and then a 1 on it. So basically you put it on 2 So setting a node on fire is obviously great, because at the end of the next round it will get flipped over, and at the end of that round it will get flipped over again. The next character's round. So it stays for kind of 2 rounds, burning anything that is there. So it starts there, then. So it is actually on the turn sequence. I've got player turn, enemy activation, then advanced tokens. So actually, as written, it would advance in the next phase and then at the end of the next player's turn. So at the moment, it only lasts your turn, the turn you've activated it. Effectively, it's active then, and then during the next player's turn, it's still active. It might be that maybe the turn that it happens, you don't flip it, and then the next 2 turns, but then that means it will happen for 3 turns. So I'm not too sure about that yet. So I'm just going to play it as I've got it written at the moment, so I don't get confused when I come to write up notes and things like that, like what I've been basing my the turns on. So she moved, she drew from the bag, she threw a canister down, set it on fire. So she's got another shooting action, or she could move. What's the range of the dual pistols? 3. 1, 2, 3. So she can shoot down here. If you're shooting into a node with another player, if you miss, if I roll a reload, you hit the player in that node. But she is going to shoot. She does a double and 2, so she does 4 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice one, Joe. Saving Brick's butt. And then 1, 2, 3. She can't shoot into that node. I could spend an ammo. What cards has she got? Let's have a little look. Target player may move 1 node. This thing's just killing me, man. All players in the game will movement and action mean to attack. I'm going to do it to help him move. She is going to use her quote. Oh, sorry, I should have reset everybody's quote back to the start. She's going to use this. I've got your back quote. Target player may move 1 node immediately. I'm going to move to this node. He doesn't suffer any penalty. Does he? He should do. Yeah, I'm going to say he does, because yeah. Okay, so she's going to make Brick suffer 1 damage because he's escaping 2 zombies from that node, but I need to get him that way. And then she's going to fire again, spending an ammo. I feel like I need to be killing more zombies. It costs her another ammo, but she kills 2 zombies. So there we go. Right, now so that was Joe's move and fire action. Then the zombies are going to act. So these zombies are going to move into here. So I'm going to take 1 damage on Brick, and I'm going to take 1 damage on... actually, I'll take 2 damage on Rook. Then this zombie here is going to hit Isaac for 1 damage, and then these 6 are going to move. No, 1 of them will stay there, and so he'll take another 5 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nasty. And then that node's adjacent as well. And then it's Joe's turn to do an AI card. She's going to draw from this deck. It's an orange card. Add a token to her node. Guess what I just drew from the back? Dozer! Yep, the dozer comes out. I can't believe it. it's almost like I can't be bothered to deal with it. This is the model I'm using for the dozer, the tank. Okay, so the tank appears. So what happens is he won't appear on that node because they've got his own spawning rules. So the dozer spawns at the furthest special node. That's the special node. If we were on 2 tiles, if I'd activated this tile as well, he would spawn on the one that was the furthest away. So say what character had just got into this node, he would spawn over here, furthest away from the players. But that's the only one we've got, so he spawns there. He has got new rules. They're different to what's on here, and I just haven't printed them out yet because I was just like, I'll just remember them. So the tank spawns out, great. Then I have to add 1, then spawning is which we haven't seen yet. And I've got a model which kind of looks like him because he's got a really long arm. So then I spawn a licker, which is effectively, you know who, this model with kind of the long arm. Spawns at B. Whoop. So the licker spawns at B, and then if he'd already been drawn from the bag, I would add him back into the bag, but no. And then the threat increases by 1. The quote is, the cough echoes before the tongue. Okay, where did I draw that from there? I think so, yeah, just put it there. Okay, so this just got really horrendous on the first tile. So that was her go. But luckily the enemies have already been. Now, the tank being drawn. The tank is got some funky rules, and I think the best thing to do is for me to get my new tank rules, and then we'll do at the start of the next video, we'll tackle this situation. Okay, so that was another round of Only for Survive version 1.3, and I'll see you next time.